Bozy Ennis reveals Boots' next fight, shuts down Vergil Ortiz, end of the line. The welterweight division is heating up once again, and this time it's not Jaron Boots Ennis doing the talking, it's his father and trainer, Derek Bozy Ennis. Known for never sugarcoating his opinions, Bozy has sent another strong message to the boxing world, revealing what could be next for IBF and WBA welterweight champion Boots Ennis while also completely dismissing the growing calls for a blockbuster showdown with Vergil Ortiz Jr. According to Bozy, the focus is on legacy, undisputed titles, and making the smartest career moves, not chasing fights that don't make sense right now. His comments have already sparked heated debates among boxing fans, with many wondering if a future Ennis vs Ortiz clash is slipping further away. Bozy made it clear that Team Ennis has a plan, and that plan doesn't revolve around Vergil Ortiz at this stage. While many fans have been dreaming of a showdown between two of America's biggest undefeated stars, Bozy believes the circumstances simply aren't right. In his eyes, Boots has already established himself as the best welterweight in the world and should continue chasing championship belts rather than entertaining speculative matchups. He emphasized that his son's priority is becoming the undisputed champion before considering fights outside that path. It's a statement that reflects the confidence Team Ennis has carried throughout Boots' career, a confidence built on dominant performances and a belief that no one at 147 pounds can truly challenge him. The conversation naturally shifted toward who Boots could fight next. With the welterweight landscape constantly changing, several names have emerged as realistic possibilities. A unification bout remains the ultimate goal, especially against any champion still holding one of the remaining major belts. Bozy hinted that discussions are ongoing and that fans should expect an announcement sooner rather than later. Rather than naming every possible opponent, he focused on one thing: whoever steps into the ring must bring something meaningful to Boots' legacy. Titles, rankings, and history matter more than social media hype or public demand. One of the biggest reasons Bozy dismissed the Vergil Ortiz matchup is timing. Ortiz has recently found success after moving up in weight and has become one of the top contenders in the junior middleweight division. While his performances have impressed many observers, Bozy doesn't believe that automatically puts him in line for Boots Ennis. From Team Ennis' perspective, Ortiz has his own path at 154 pounds, while Boots still has unfinished business at welterweight. Mixing the two divisions simply doesn't make sense when there are still championship opportunities available for both fighters. Bozy didn't stop there. He also addressed the growing narrative that Vergil Ortiz represents the biggest threat to Boots Ennis. His response was direct and uncompromising. According to him, Boots has already faced every style imaginable during years of amateur competition and professional dominance. Fast pressure fighters, slick boxers, hard punchers, it doesn't matter. Bozy insists that his son has the complete package: speed, defense, footwork, power, ring IQ, and adaptability. In his opinion, Ortiz would simply become another name on Boots' resume rather than the fighter who exposes him. Confidence has always been a defining characteristic of the Ennis camp. Since Boots turned professional, Bozy has repeatedly stated that his son possesses talents rarely seen in boxing. He believes Boots can fight orthodox or southpaw with equal effectiveness, adjust mid-fight better than almost anyone in the sport, and finish opponents whenever opportunities appear. Those qualities, Bozy argues, separate great fighters from elite champions. That's why he doesn't spend much time worrying about individual opponents. Instead, he focuses on continuing Boots' development and preparing for whichever champion agrees to sign the contract. The criticism surrounding Boots' level of opposition also came up during the discussion. Some fans argue that Ennis hasn't yet faced the elite names needed to cement his status among boxing's pound-for-pound stars. Bozy strongly rejected that criticism, pointing out that many of the biggest names spent years avoiding Boots while he was climbing the rankings. Mandatory obligations, promotional politics, and business negotiations often prevented the fights fans wanted to see. According to Bozy, Team Ennis has consistently accepted every challenge offered, but securing those matchups requires cooperation from both sides. As for Vergil Ortiz, Bozy's comments could easily be interpreted as throwing cold water on one of boxing's most anticipated future fights. He essentially suggested that Boots has already moved beyond chasing individual names. If Ortiz eventually becomes a champion in another division and circumstances align, then perhaps discussions could happen. Until then, Team Ennis isn't interested in entertaining hypothetical matchups. Their mission remains clear: dominate welterweight, collect every championship belt possible, and then move up in weight only after accomplishing everything left at 147 pounds. Fans remain divided over Bozy's position. Some agree that chasing undisputed status should always come before super fights. Others believe boxing's biggest stars should face each other regardless of belts, especially when both are undefeated and in their physical prime. The sport has often been criticized for delaying dream fights until they're no longer at their peak. That's why many supporters continue urging both camps to negotiate while excitement remains at its highest. Whether that pressure eventually changes Team Ennis' plans remains to be seen. There is also the business side of boxing to consider. Massive fights require the right financial incentives, television agreements, promotional cooperation, and scheduling. Even when both fighters publicly express interest, negotiations can collapse for reasons unrelated to the athletes themselves. Bozy acknowledged that reality, stressing that fans rarely see what happens behind closed doors. His focus isn't on winning social media debates but on making sure Boots continues building a Hall of Fame-worthy career one step at a time. Looking ahead, Boots Ennis appears to be entering perhaps the most important stage of his professional career.